Right, hello. Bit of an exclusive. Hang on, let's just. I don't want the fog lights on. Turn those off. Okay. So fog lights. I don't know if you've ever seen these things on. But bloody lovely and bright. Okay, so I'm back down with the boys at Dick Lovett Motor Rad in Bristol. Okay, new 1250GS Adventure with the gold rims. I love it. I love the look of that bike. Okay, so there's a couple of options with colours. Obviously, this is the rally version, I suppose, or the HP high performance 1250 with the gold rims. There's a couple of differences that you get with this bike. Which it's a silly little thing, but you get like rad shroud, like rad protectors on the front there. When I first saw images of it in the press, I wasn't sure about that aluminium rad protector, but now I've seen it in the flesh. How good does that look? I love it. I love it. Obviously, you got the grey one, which is, I like the red seat. I like the understatedness of it, I suppose. And then you got the green one. It's sort of an olive green. Unfortunately, they haven't got one here for me to show you, but I'll stick up a picture of a press picture so you can see it. I saw it at the NEC at the show, and the press photography or the press pictures don't really do it justice. It's actually quite a nice green, bit metallic. Yeah, I actually quite liked it. And the original green one, that came 2014 colours, the original one, is a bit of a sought after colour now. So yeah, so you just don't know with these things. Anyway, that's enough fun. Let's get on the way. Unfortunately, subscribers, sorry, if you watched my last video, which was the rally, which was only a couple of weeks ago. So unfortunately, guys, I'm going to obviously be saying quite a lot similar from that video to this one. So bear with me, because obviously the bikes are essentially the same, aren't they, really? But this one's got a bigger tank. Oh, man. I do like it. It feels, I don't know what it is, it just feels smaller. I know it's exactly the same bike as mine. Let's see how I feel as I get going. Oh, it's got the brakes. Now I don't have to hold it back. The brakes have come on, so I don't have to hold it. I'm on a slight slope here. Just put it in gear, let the clutch out, and the brakes come off. Easy peasy. So smooth, so smooth. This new engine. Now I did something, GS man. I did something, if you watch my last video you know about it, but I did something on the GS Rally, which I did a 30 to 100 mile an hour roll on, which proved one thing, that the new 2019 GS motor pulls to 100 mile an hour in top gear quicker than last year's motor, the 1200 one, which is one thing, but something else that I found fairly evident from the video is that's a nice car in it, Aston Martin DB11. That's a bit nice. Anyway, sorry, get back to it. The bit that's evident is when I close the throttle off after 100 mile an hour. I keep rambling on in the video how smooth this motor is, but when I shut the throttle off, sorry, let me just concentrate a second. How much smoother the engine shuts down. It's not criticism, but with my bike, if I'm going along at 70 mile an hour and I'm in cruise control and I knock the cruise control off, that deceleration, especially when I've got a pillion on the back, it throws the pillion forward. Something else, we all keep harping on about this new 1250 motor and whether it's more powerful and whether it's this, that and the other, but really, I don't think that's its only feature. The fact that your pillion or you are going to have a smoother ride, I think is just a bigger deal, if I'm honest. Right, so bit of a drive around Bristol. Or are we 8 degrees C here? So I've got the 2014 bike. So I'll shut my visor down because I know you're going to get a bit of wind roar. Yeah, like I said, I've got the 2014 bike, and there's quite a lot of differences with the 2014 bike with the original liquid cooled GSA. So yeah, quite a lot of differences. You know, the gearbox has been improved, you know, the TFT screen, okay, the suspension, the auto suspension. You know, the auto suspension, for those of you that don't know, is you put it in auto, and if your missus or if somebody jumps on the back, or if you've got luggage on board that weighs quite a bit, oh god, yeah, better not forget I've got luggage on this bike, full luggage on this bike, so I better be careful squeezing through traffic. So yeah, if you know something changes and you got it in auto mode, the bike weighs it all and sets the suspension for you, which is nice. You know, that's a feature that I would use a lot of. I don't know Bristol, guys, so you're gonna have to bear with me while I wobble around where I'm going, because I don't know this area at all. So forgive me, okay? I've gone the wrong way, so just do a U-turn. See, things like that. That's what's different about this bike. It's the little thing you really notice. It's just that how manageable the new motor is at low speeds. You know, I mean, you notice it all the way through the rev range. So the nice thing about this new motor is how smooth BMW have made this shift cam system. You know, you don't feel it. You know, like I said in my last video, if you've ever ridden a Honda VTEC before, you know when the cam changes, you know, what is it, 6,500 RPM, the cam would change, and you'd feel that step. But on this, you don't feel it at all. It's just smooth all the way through the rev range. So, you know, that's great in itself, but it's also this low speed, first gear maneuverability. It's just so manageable. There's no snatchiness, no nothing. So what else can I tell you? There's a couple of little extras on this. Like I said, the Rally comes with obviously the gold rims. Yeah, I'm a bit of a tart when it comes to the gold rims. I do like them. I do, to be honest, I love the colour of this bike. Obviously, because it's the Adventure, it comes with engine bars, unlike the normal GS. That's an option on a normal GS. Okay, so there's been all sorts of, you know, I'm on various Facebook GS owners' pages, and there's been some criticism that BMW haven't put Brembo brakes on the front. Am I bothered about? You know, I'd probably be bothered if made the bike feel, you know, the brakes feel weak. But if I'm honest, I can't feel the difference at all. These BMW branded front brakes feel great. No, I can't feel any difference between these and my Brembos on my bike. If I'm honest, they're made by Hayes. If you look on the inside of the caliper, it's printed with Hayes, so you can see the manufacturer who makes the brakes. I don't think they deserve the criticism they're getting, to be honest. They're certainly powerful enough. I do love it. Look at it, stunning, isn't it? Stunning. Something you need to be aware of. You know, I said about the auto mode and how great it is, but something that you do need to be aware of is if you set off, you know, if you're like me, you know, I'm quite short in the leg. I've got a 30-inch inside leg, as all my subscribers know, because I say just about every one of my road tests. So I do deserve the piss taken out of me for that. So sorry, subscribers. But you all know what my inside leg measurement is. So, you know, and the GS is a tall bike for me, you know, but it doesn't bother me. You know, I'm not one of those people that needs my feet flat on the ground on both sides. So, you know, it doesn't. Oh, I want to squeeze to the front, but I don't think I will with these panniers on. So, something you do need to be aware of with the auto suspension is if you set off with the bike in low mode, you know, and you're happy with your feet on the floor, and then you put it in auto mode and you set off, the bike raises, and then when you come to put your feet down again, the bike's adjusted itself. You know, so you do need to be aware of that. Obviously, you don't need to have it in auto mode. You can set the bike up to ride around in low mode all the time. You know, for me, low mode, I can't quite get my heels down on the ground in low mode. Nearly, but not quite. So, you know, and here I am in auto mode, riding this thing, and I'm more or less on tiptoes. So there's a huge difference. So you do need to be aware of that. What else can I tell you? You know, I'm not going to go into the TFT screen. You know, these bikes have been out long enough now with the TFT screen, and I'm sure you know, the TFT shows everything about the bike. Absolutely everything. You know, you can connect your phone to it, and you can play your music through it. It shows the album art and all those lovely things that modern technology should show you these days. You know, so it's got all those lovely features. You can connect BMW's mapping system to it, so you can get that turn by turn. You know, turn by turn is all right, but I would definitely buy the Navigator, the BMW Nav 5 or Nav 6 as it is now. This is the Nav 6 on here. I would definitely get that, just because I like to see where I'm going. I like to see the map. Turn by turn is fine, but the mapping is an advantage, isn't it? And using the scroll wheel, you know, to use the features of both the TFT and the Navigator is so simple to use, you know. It's a matter of holding down a button, the menu button, and you can switch between the two, and you can use the wheel, you know, to do both. I don't think there's another manufacturer that does that. It's a brilliant system, brilliant system that BMW have designed and put together. Go with this 24-hour bus lane. Motorcycles are allowed in bus lanes in England before people start getting pissy. I've had some trolls, guys. Blimey, have I had some trolls. YouTube has been a massive learning experience for me, to be honest. You know, and people seem to forget too easily that we're just normal people, you know. I'm just a normal guy with a normal day-to-day job, and I go out and I put videos together for you people to watch. You know, some people need to remember that. So what do you guys think? I think the bike is stunning to look at. I love it. I love the rally, the HP. I love it. You know, I'm coming to the point where I've got to trade my bike in. You know, some things have happened to me this year which I'm not going to go into. So my life and my financial position has changed drastically. So how can I explain it? So this bike is right at the top of the scale of whether I'm going to be able to afford to trade in mine. You know, because I've got to do it. Unfortunately, I'm not lucky enough to be able to go out and buy this. It'll have to be on finance for me. But I've made that choice. You know, I've made that choice. I love the bike so much that I'm happy to sign myself up for years of pain. So you've got to be happy with what you buy, haven't you? You've got to be happy. But it's a good looking bike, isn't it? I love it. I do love it. Seats just as comfortable as my bike. Yeah, sorry, up and down with the voice, but it's steaming, it's misting up so much because the weather's so cold and I'm breathing like crazy and chatting away to you guys. My voice is steaming up, so sorry if I get a bit of wind roar. So for me, I think I can justify the upgrade. You know, what with, you know, like I said, the new gearbox, the new suspension, the new motor, the TFT screen. You know, for me, the justification is there. You know what, this is exactly the same way I came when I was on the GS Rally a couple of weeks ago. These roadworks are still here. One man. Not doing a great deal. So why the Adventure? Okay, why the Adventure? For me, the Adventure because for me, commuting to work. If I had the normal GS, I would have to fuel up a couple of times in a week to get to work. Whereas this, I would only have to fill up the once. You know, so for me, the Adventure is an advantage in that sense. Okay, but other than that, you know, because I found that, you know, I could be all smug to my mates about how many miles I can go on on a tank on this bike. Unfortunately, because they're all on bikes with 20 litre tanks, it doesn't matter how far I can go on my bike. Let's go M5, let's go on the motorway. It doesn't matter how far I can go on my bike because I've still got to stop every time they stop. So, you know, if you're a touring motorcyclist, you know, having the Adventure isn't necessarily an advantage because you've still got to stop when your mates stop. So, you know, you do feel the bulk of the bigger bike, you know, so if you're a bit of a hooner, maybe the non-Adventure model is better for you. You know, for me, as a commuter, it's the one advantage. So visor up, visor down. But let me tell you how far you can go on a tank on these bikes. Now, I'll put the link up at the end of this video, but I rode back from Italy non-stop. Okay, so I did 1,000 miles in, I think it was 18 hours, no, over 1,000 miles in 18 hours on my bike, non-stop, and basically I filled up when I was leaving Italy, so I was just north of San Marino. I filled up one more time just after the Mont Blanc tunnel in the south of France, and I made it all the way back to Calais on basically 2 tanks of fuel. You know, I know a lot of people couldn't do that, sit that long in a saddle, you know, but I didn't find it a problem, to be honest. You know, I did 1,000 miles that day. I got off the bike when I got to the train at Calais for the Channel Tunnel, and I could walk. So, you know, it says a lot about these bikes, doesn't it? It says a lot about these bikes. You know, this is the nice thing about GS's. It's a do-everything machine, isn't it? So there we have it. Okay, I'm heading back to Deal of it now. After the ride, really, you know, really, guys, this is a demo ride for me personally because, you know, this potentially could be my next bike. Like I said, I've got to make a few decisions, a few right decisions, I should say. But thanks for coming along for the ride. Don't forget, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like me, give us a sub. Or I should say, if you like me, please subscribe, and I will be very grateful. Love how that sun's just poking out through that cloud up there. But the bike feels nice. You know, if you want to rev it, it revs like crazy. But it's not always about that, is it? But come down to your BMW Motorrad dealer and come and take one for a ride and see what you guys think. Let me know what you think though. Put comments down below. Bentley, McLaren, Rolls, they got some money's worth around here, haven't they? Rolls-Royce there, look, and BMW. i8, that's a good looking car, isn't it, the i8? Okay, hopefully I've summed up everything. Hopefully I've given you enough information. I'll put a link up to the GS Rally video at the end of this video. If you fancy watching it, just click on it. And I'll also put a video up to my from my trip back from Italy that I did in a day. So click on that if you fancy watching that. And like I said, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you like me, give us a sub. I will be eternally grateful. So there we have it. Okay, obviously it's got keyless. Quick shifter up and down as standard. Engine bars as standard, heated grips as standard. You know, it's all on there, isn't it? It's all there, all ready to go. I like all this as well. You know, they put a protector around the frame so your boots don't rub the frame. Oh, there's that guard underneath on the centre stand. So what do you reckon? Could be the next bike. Okay, I'll take the sat-nav off. Okay, taking the sat-nav off, pretty straightforward. Key that comes, obviously keyless for the bike, to operate the panniers because they have a one key system, panniers and top box, and obviously to get the sat-nav on and off. So literally just put the key in the side there, unlock it. Okay, there's a little clip at the back. Hope I've unlocked it first. Slide that over, push a button, and it comes off. Okay, very simple system to use. Like I said, give your local Motorrad dealer a call and come on down and try the thing. I loved it. I loved it. As you could probably tell. But I'm a GS fan. I'm a GS fanboy still. There we go. Okay, right, catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. HP4 race. 68 grand. If only. If only. Right, okay, catch you guys later. Cheers for now.